The Encounter is a historical drama adaptation based on the short story The Encounter by historian Henry Onyema. The moment in question is the conversation between Biafran Commander-in-Chief General Emeka and imprisoned Emmanuel Ifeajuna. That's set in 1967 during the Nigerian-Biafra Civil War. An imprisoned Emmanuel Ifeajuna is summoned by Biafran Commander-in-Chief General Emeka for one last conversation and one last encounter. Ifeajuna was a Nigerian army major and a high jumper. Now, to talk us through the film and a little bit more about it, we are joined from our Cape Town studios by one of the directors of the film, Tolu Ajayi. It's good to have you, Tolu. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, before we get into the conversation with Tolu, let's take a look at a trailer of the film.
Emmanuel Ifeajuna. How the mighty have fallen.
You should have been dead by now. Biko, listen to the words of a corpse. You cannot win this war.
All right, Tolu, thank you so much once again for being with us. And as I mentioned in the introduction, the film is based on Emmanuel Ifeajuna and General Emeka. Why did you decide to highlight these two individuals specifically?
The two characters in the short story and in history are very important. I think perhaps most important when I started the process, of assimilating the story was in knowing the character of Emmanuel Ifeajuna and how important he was to Nigerian history. If you were a child around the 70s and 80s, even up to the 90s, there was an exercise book called the Olympic exercise book that had a high jumper on the cover. And when I started doing the history, I discovered that, that was actually Ifeajuna. And it's important that the story is coming out probably about now, why, history seems to be shifting back towards what happened then, and in Nigeria, it's beginning to have more and more of some form of historical significance. So perhaps it just enabled us to go back in time and find out exactly what had transpired. Mm-hmm. Now, while the encounter is fictional, these two characters actually existed.
Yeah. Who is part of your film?
Excuse me?
Who is in the film? Who takes part in the film?
The two actors, Gregory Ojukwu acted the part of General Ojukwu, and Amara Ono was Emmanuel Ifeajuna.
Indeed, and I imagine that there's a message that you would love people to actually take away from this film after watching it. What is it? What do you want people to sort of remember from this time in history?
Yeah, the film basically has two friends. In history, what I found out in history was the two core characters were friends. They were very close to each other, and because of their ideology, they split, and one person had to pay the price for that, for believing in what they believed in. And around this time, in unity, and it's perhaps one of the core messages that the film tries to bring together, and also the fact that love is lost when people are too passionate about what they really believe in, and that's, I think, is perhaps one of the true the core messages in the film, The Encounter.
Let's talk about the role that the Biafra War actually played in the history of Nigeria and its people, because I'm sure a lot of South Africans are not necessarily familiar with this.
Yeah. Well, the Biafran War is a very terrible time in our history. I was actually born after the war, so it took me a lot of research. One of the things that happened was a failed coup, which brought up by some soldiers who wanted to create a revolution, who had socialist Marxist beliefs. Unfortunately, some of those soldiers were considered to be from a certain ethnicity, so the North struck back, and it led to an ethnic, genocide, so to speak. And people from the East decided to form their own country, having suffered a loss from the killings that happened in the North at that time, and Biafra came to birth. And in the cause of Biafra, people started to think differently, and Emmanuel Ifeajuna was one of those that thought differently about what Biafra meant, and that went against the beliefs of his general, and he paid the price for that.
Yeah. Now, you're currently in South Africa shooting an ad. What's this all about? Tell us about it.
Oh, what I'm shooting now?
Yeah.
I'm making a commercial. It's a beer commercial. I can't say any more than that at the moment.
So it's a beer commercial.
Yeah, I've been producing commercials for upwards of about 18 years now.
That has absolutely nothing to do with the film.
No, that's my day job.
Oh, good. Okay, not a problem. Do you have any hopes at all of perhaps working with some local actors and actresses in the future?
Definitely, collaboration is a key thing. When I go to film festivals all across the continent, I always meet with filmmakers, and I have a few friends. I was a director on Tintel, which is a Nigerian South African collaboration, and a lot of my tutors, my friends, my colleagues were South Africans. So I have been collaborating, and I still look forward to doing even more, which is what I'm even doing right now.
Just before I let you go, where can South Africans actually watch it? Where is it playing at the moment?
Currently, it's online.
Online.
Because of the nature of what it is, it has a lot of online distribution. So it's going to be online right about now. Trino Studios has it on YouTube, and it should also be launching on an app, which you can watch it on your mobile phone.
Excellent.
So yes, we'll get back to you on that.
Tolu, what is the website address, just so that we can give it to our viewers?
They could go to the YouTube channel titled Trino Studios.
Okay.
Trino spelled Trino Studios.
Trino Studios.
And they'll get to watch and learn about Nigerian history.
Excellent.
And hopefully learn something new about what happened.
Thank you very much, and good luck with that beer commercial that you're filming here in South Africa. Hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about a very important part of Nigeria's history and educating, I'm sure, a lot of us, including myself. Tolu Ajayi, who is the director of The Encounter. It is by historian Henry Onyema, focusing on the 1967 Biafra Civil War in Nigeria. Right, let's go back to Ayanda now. She's been at the taxi rank, and that's where she is, at the Wanderers taxi rank. In fact, let's take a quick break here on the program, and when we return, we'll go straight to Ayanda, and she's been just focusing in on a lot of the issues that have been affecting commuters when they do catch taxis. Stay tuned.